We've spent many hours testing 23 strategy games for Android. 11 of them failed for various reasons, mostly because they're simply not fun or something is bothering us. However, 12 of the games are really good, and that's what this video is about. You likely don't know many of them yet, because there's some hidden gems in here. We will start with Card Thief. This game is a great combination of strategy and card games. You play as a skilled thief who sneaks through dark dungeons, collects treasures, and tries to escape the patrolling guards. The gameplay is turn-based and relies on a clever deck system. Each card represents an action, but you have to think carefully about how you use your limited resources. The atmosphere of the game is dark and the graphics are of a very high standard. Even after you've completed a few missions, new highlights and challenges will keep you entertained. Card Thief is ideal for anyone looking for a mix of strategy and tactics and is great for casual gaming. Who knows Polyopia? It's about building an empire and conquering territories, but in a minimalistic, charming pixel world. The game is easy to learn and works on a simple principle. At its core, Polyopia is about controlling and expanding your own tribe in a pixelated world. You start with a small village and a few units, and the goal is to build a huge empire, conquer territories, and either score the most points or completely defeat your opponents. It's simple enough to understand in a few minutes, but deep enough to keep you experimenting with new strategies. At the beginning of each round, you have to choose a unique tribe. This choice significantly affects your start and strategy. There are countless technologies to discover, such as building roads, mastering sailing ships, or training powerful knights. Every decision and every round can drastically influence the course of your game. In addition to the single-player mode, Polyopia also offers a multiplayer mode. Here, you can test your strategies against friends or players from all over the world. The multiplayer mode adds a whole new level to the game, as human opponents are often more unpredictable and present you with new challenges. Have you always dreamed of building and managing your own city? Then Theot Town is the game for you. You are the mayor and plan everything from scratch: streets, residential areas, industrial plants, and public facilities. You have to pay attention to the needs of your citizens and make economically wise decisions. Theot Town is particularly interesting for fans of SimCity or city skylines because it offers so much depth, from traffic planning to managing natural disasters. Plus, you can customize and expand your cities even further with free mods and extensions that you can install in-game. For an Android game, Theot Town is really quite impressive and much more than you might initially think. It's a lot of fun to build the small pixelated cities, which can grow immensely over time and get their own airports and landmarks. Star Wars fans will get their money's worth with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. This game is a mix between a collectible card game and a strategy game, where you assemble your own team of iconic characters such as Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, or even the Mandalorians. You have to think strategically in turn-based Final Fantasy-style battles and decide wisely when to use the character's different abilities. You also play through the whole story again piece by piece and recreate many of the battles from the movies. The graphics are good and there are lots of events where you can unlock new characters. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is a nice casual game for in between and can be played well without in-game purchases. In Stronghold Kingdoms, you are immersed in the world of the Middle Ages. Here you not only build your own castle, but also an entire empire. You have to collect resources, take care of your people, and defend your country against enemies. What makes this game special is that the entire game is multiplayer and is basically designed like a typical browser game. Every decision has far-reaching consequences, so think carefully about whether you want to be a friend or an enemy. You start with a village, the location of which you can choose yourself on a world map, and over time you can even build an entire empire. There's also a medieval political aspect. You can be elected by other players in your area as the reeve or even as the king of their land. The graphics are somewhat reminiscent of the original game, and fans of the Stronghold series should definitely get their money's worth. Yes, you probably know Clash of Clans, but it remains one of the best strategy games. Build your own base, train your troops, and compete against other players in epic clan wars. The combination of resource management, base building, and strategic attacks is simply addictive, and regular updates keep the game exciting. Even years later, it's still worth diving into this really good game again. If you don't already know it, you should definitely spend a few hours in it. It's worth it, it's free, and you can play through it without making any purchases. Territorial.io is a hidden gem from the Play Store that may not have appealing graphics but can quickly become very addictive. You start with a small area on a world map and have to conquer new territories by skillfully managing resources and launching targeted attacks. What makes it so exciting is that the game takes place in real time and your opponents are either AI or real players. It's easy to understand, but incredibly strategic. Every move counts, and a single mistake can cost you your entire dominance. It's especially fun against other players and can be a very tactically demanding game. In 9/11 Operator, you're not a general, but an emergency dispatcher. That may sound more relaxed, but just wait. You have to decide in real time how to respond to various emergencies. Break-ins, fire, medical emergencies, you will have to deal with it all. You manage the various units and have to use resources effectively to save lives. You will also have to ask for the most important information and go over protocols on the phone. It's also very rewarding to play with headphones, as the voices of the callers and the radio messages from the units create a realistic atmosphere. 9/11 Operator is a completely different kind of strategy that will certainly captivate you. For under $2, you get the whole game without ads. At that price, we highly recommend it. For those who like games like XCOM and the like, Door Kickers is just the thing. You plan detailed SWAT operations, free hostages, and eliminate threats. Everything from a bird's eye view, while you have to carefully consider all actions. You can equip your troops individually and try out different strategies. The dynamic camera angles are very cool, constantly changing as a unit jumps through doors or enter a new room. At around $4 on the Play Store, the game is well worth it, as it's free of ads and in-game purchases. Firefight takes you back to the day of World War II. This real-time strategy game focuses on historical accuracy and challenges you to lead your troops in intense battles. You will need to use your resources wisely and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to achieve victory. The graphics are realistic and the atmosphere draws you right into the action. However, this game is not for casual strategists because you have to stay very attentive and use every cover as well as know the units well. But after a little practice, it's all the more fun. If you want to get a little Company of Heroes vibe on your tablet, you should definitely check out Firefight. At a hefty price at around $11 in the Play Store, we only recommend it if you are generally into modern war strategy. Star Trek Fleet Command is perfect for anyone who loves the Star Trek universe. You build your fleet, explore new galaxies, and negotiate with other players, or wage war against them. The game is relatively easy to get into and is reminiscent of a browser game in that you have to keep coming back to update your base. But the game is also good to play without making any purchases and is suitable for casual gamers, especially if you have a small fleet or a better ship. Finally, we recommend Mindustry, a masterpiece for fans of tower defense and factory building games. This game is not just about defending your planet base, but also about setting up complex production chains to use resources efficiently. The game gets more challenging with each round and is perfect for those who like to tinker and want to prove their strategic skills. There's also a really good multiplayer mode, so you can also play against friends, and there's an in-game mod database that is constantly being expanded by an active community. With no ads and being completely free, Mindustry is our highlight of the series and can provide hours of fun. We played these games on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Plus and the Honor Pad X8a, so a premium and a cheap tablet. And you don't need the best performance for these strategy games. However, if you're looking for a really good gaming tablet, we've already put together a list of current recommendations. Right at the top of the list is a tablet that costs just over $200, which is surprisingly good.